Yeah, I went to these schools, and again, it seemed like I had exhausted everything. I had been to the best schools, and I had read all the books, and I had even gone through the books for Juilliard, even though I didn't attend there. I had gone through their course. And still, there just seemed to be a huge missing elephant in the room. I mean, you could ask me any kind of questions. I could pass all the tests. I knew all that stuff. But when it came to my writing and my playing, it felt rather, in some ways, insincere. I was going through the rote, I was going through the numbers, and oh, I know it's all correct, but like I said, it's all about communication. It's about moving people. And I didn't really feel like I was doing a good job in that department, even though it was clinically very precisely correct. So I heard about this guy, Dick Grove, who the people who know. But the people who don't know, I didn't know. It was just some guy. I don't know. But after talking to him for maybe a half an hour, I kind of knew that he knew and that he could teach it. And I never had that. I didn't go there till I was 35. And I never had that feeling before with any other teacher or school or book or video or program where it's like, no, this guy knows. This is the guy. And so I did go to school. I thought I was only going to go to school there for a year. I ended up spending 3 years at Grove. And they were very intense. Again, I was 35 years old, so I had a full-time job, 40 hours a week. I had about maybe 12 students, another 12 hours a week. I had a new baby, and which, as if you have kids, you know that's 1,000,000 hours a week, you know. And then plus the drive to school was brutal. It was up in the valley. I lived down here, so it was a good hour and a half to 2 hour drive there and back. I was literally booked for about 110 hours out of 168 hours a week for 3 years. But the guy knew, and I knew he was going to change my life. I knew it. All I had to do was do the work. He already has the pathway completely laid out for me. All I have to do is survive. That's all I have to do. So I went there with that mindset, and I remember him in about the first 2 weeks. He said to the class, he said, all right, I want you guys to think. Take about 30 seconds and think about what it is that you want to accomplish at the conclusion of your studies with me. And I had a few things in my head that probably most people do. I'd like to write a very solid tune, at least one that's worthy of, you know, what they call the real book, which is kind of the jazz compendium of standards that most jazz players play. I'd like to be able to write decent horn arrangements. I had probably about 5 things in my list. And so after about 30 seconds, he goes, okay, you all got in your head what you want to learn from this school? And we're like, yeah. And he goes, multiply it by about 10, because that's where you're going to end up. And I literally just started almost laughing. I mean, I think I actually went, ha, like that, you know. And he wasn't kidding. He should have said multiply it by about 100. He changed my life. And probably the biggest thing that influenced me was in my 3rd year, we had to do film score, a 3-minute cue for a film, full symphony orchestra, 65 plus pieces. And there were only 8 of us left at that point in the class. A lot of people didn't make it. And during one of the play downs, and Dick actually had a studio orchestra, a full orchestra playing it, of the top LA musicians. And during one of the play downs, I noticed he was at the back auditorium, the back of the wall at the auditorium, and there were tears coming down. It actually is starting to break me up now. But there were tears coming down his eyes, and he was a little older, and I was a little worried about him. I went back, I said, Dick, are you all right? Is everything okay? And he goes, yeah, but I got to say something to you guys after this one. And so we went up to the podium after that play down had finished, and he said, you know, you got to promise me that you're going to carry this on, you know. And it did make a big impression on me. So that's kind of what I want to do. Is I'm carrying it on for Dick. You know, he's gone now. He's passed away. But it made me realize that whatever I think that I want to do for myself in terms of whatever, being famous or making money or writing a series of tunes that become institutional standards, is really not that important. It's that I think what I have to teach is far more important than anything I may do in my own personal life. And so that's kind of why I do this, you know.